From the Stroh Center in Bowling Green, Ohio, we have a Tuesday night Mid-American Conference versus SEC matchup as the Bowling Green Falcons welcome in the #1 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us alongside Brandon Bosch. I'm Brad Woznicki. For Bowling Green, the month of December has been one top 25 challenge after another. The Falcons began the month at Iowa in front of a crowd of almost 15,000. The Hawkeyes ranked #4 in the country. This Friday, Bowling Green will see #15 Indiana in Bloomington, but right now, a unique opportunity with #1 in the Stroh.
And you've got to relish this opportunity. Here at home, we're going to have a great crowd in the Stroh Center tonight, but really overall this month of December is going to make this Bowling Green team better. When they get ready for the stretch run, you go into February and March, when they're getting into deep MAC play, they're going to be ready because of the opponents that they've seen throughout the month of December.
And one player that has never backed down for a challenge for Bowling Green is the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, Lexi Fleming. One of the top defenders in the Mid-American Conference, really put her skills on display in that game against Iowa when she went for 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals.
And beyond being a great defender, she's an extremely dynamic offensive player. She takes great care of the basketball, very unselfish, shoots a high percentage from both 2 and 3, and man, can she attack the rim. For her size, it's very impressive what she's able to do offensively, but tonight is going to be a completely different challenge against the Trees from South Carolina.
Size will, without a doubt, be a factor in this game when you're starting with South Carolina's Camila Cardozo, 6'7" senior, runs the floor very well, averages a double-double, and one of the top shot blockers in the nation.
And you love what Cardozo brings to the table. More so than just what she does on the floor, it's what she does in terms of her leadership. She waited her turn behind Aaliyah Boston. You see her now really shining as she steps into the limelight for this South Carolina team. And she's doing great. She's getting other players involved. She does a wonderful job around the hoop, a great rebounder, a great shot blocker, as you said. And as she goes, this South Carolina team goes, but man, are they deep. They can get everybody involved. A great team overall, and that's why they're ranked #1 in the country.
It's time now to take a look at the starting 5. First for South Carolina will be Tahina Halpound, Camila Cardozo, Mylasia Wiley, the 5'10" freshman, Chloe Kitts, 6'2" sophomore, and Bree Hall, excellent outside shooter, the junior, making the return to her home state as she is out of Dayton, Ohio. For the Bowling Green Falcons, playing just their 3rd home game of the season, Falcons will look like this. Amy Velasco, Sophie Seekin making her 2nd consecutive start. Paige Kohler, Olivia Hill, and Lexi Fleming, a 5'5" senior. A mix of experience in that Bowling Green starting lineup, and a starting lineup that has altered a bit as the season has gone along. Bowling Green 2-0 here at home this season. Will face one of the most familiar faces in women's college basketball, Dawn Staley, 16th season as a head coach. A couple of national titles there in 2017 and 2022. Damage has been done in the NCAA tournament. And now she's going to be facing a familiar face in her former assistant coach, Fred Jamil.
And you love what Coach Staley does with her squad. She will play anywhere, anytime, any place. And how awesome is it that she comes back here with Coach Jamil to play his Bowling Green Falcons in his first year as head coach after all the time he put in to the South Carolina program, and the Temple program before that with Coach Staley as she was coming up through the ranks in terms of coaching. You gotta love what she's doing with her squad. You gotta love what she does for her staff. A real staple of the game that you see there, Coach Jamil, off to a great start here in his Bowling Green career.
Fred Jamil has not only coached with Dawn Staley, he has also coached Dawn Staley. Remember her from her days with the Charlotte Sting in the WNBA. We are ready for the tip-off here inside the Stroh on Bill Frack Court. It'll be Cardozo and Olivia Hill to jump. Gotta switch up the sides, get things straightened out from the beginning here. South Carolina has won 22 consecutive road games. Bowling Green's last time out was a win down in Wright State in front of a great crowd there. Opening possession for the Gamecocks. South Carolina, one of the top scoring teams in the nation, averaging better than 90 points a game. Nice high-low action, easy one down low. Getting started for Chloe Kitts.
And you see right there the unselfishness from Cardoso. Not only is she a great scorer inside, but a wonderful passer. Great hands, as we said in the open. 6th Woman of the Year last year for the nation.
Lexi Fleming, dealing with that size, tried the reverse. And back comes Pow Pow. Looking inside immediately for Cardoso. The catch and score. That took about 5 seconds.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do. For 6'7", that's about 2 feet away from the block. She found a great spot there. Wonderful pass inside. Easy bucket.
Olivia Hill, corner 3 is good. For Liv Hill, that is a part of her game that she has improved upon throughout her time at Bowling Green. She is now 5 out of 10 from distance this season. And a 3 at the other end, a quick answer from Bree Hall. One of the players you cannot leave open for South Carolina on the perimeter.
You absolutely not. Cannot. And she's been coming on as of late, especially from 3. But if you're Bowling Green, got to change something up on the defensive end. Way too easy a looks early in this one.
Olivia Hill just earned herself a couple of free throws. That 3 for Bree Hall, her 17th of the season, shoots it at 38%. And while Olivia Hill steps to the line, the keys for the Falcons.
Look at the first one. Just survive this first quarter. If you're going to pull an upset, which we've seen in basketball throughout the years, it happens. You're going to have to survive the beginning of this game. And I think defensively, you're going to have to switch it up from what we've seen already. On the second key there, play clean. You can't give up second chance points. You can't get lost defensively. You've got to take care of the basketball. No live ball turnovers. Again, those 2 keys are going to keep Bowling Green in this game. Get out of this first quarter. Be in the game. See what you can do. Put the pressure on South Carolina.
Those 2 makes. Hill now 9 out of 15 at the charity stripe this season. And a 2-point ball game about a minute and a half in. Hall again, opposite corner this time, and it's South Carolina by 5.
A great start for Hall coming back to Ohio, the Huber Heights Wayne product. She's got a large contingent there behind the South Carolina bench cheering her on, and what a start.
Bree Hall is one of the reasons why, as Velasco gets a nice basket underneath. Hall is one of the reasons why Dawn Staley, during her time here at South Carolina, is having one of her best 3-point shooting teams. They're knocking down about 7 threes a game at 40%.
Beyond that, she's a heck of a recruiter, Staley. Who would not want to play for one of the legends in the women's game?
Pow Pow got a little bit of space, knocks down the 3 of her own. That's her 25th, and shooting it at a career best, 51%.
She's been just kind of the engine that could for this team. Just a little bit of everything. A solid defender. Great on the offensive end. Again, unselfish. That's a theme for this South Carolina team. Very unselfish.
To add to your point, Pow Pow will pick her spots of when she's going to look for her offense and find her teammates. And off the back rim, rebounded by Cardoso. Underneath, easy transition bucket for Chloe Kitts. South Carolina loves to run the floor, and they've just pushed their lead to 8. With 2.5 minutes gone by, taking us into our first timeout. It's the Gamecocks 15, the Falcons 7 here on ESPN.
Live sport.
Sitters to nannies to daycare centers. Find all the care you need at care.com.
South Carolina by 8. Almost 3 minutes into this first quarter. Brad Woznicki back with Brandon Bosch, and South Carolina up to number 4 in the country in scoring offense, just over 92 points a game. And you can get there when you get the shots that they get. 6 for 6 to start in this game.
And it's been unselfish play by South Carolina as well. They moved the ball extremely well. They moved off the ball. And that's what this program has kind of been built into. Offensively, very dynamic. They play a lot of players. Everybody can score. It's so fun. They've been perfect offensively in this game.
Bowling Green offensively on the season, averaging almost 70 points a game. Falcons will not win the Mid-American Conference. As Kohler hangs, a little bit of contact there, but not enough to draw a whistle. Out and running is South Carolina. Pow looks inside, now goes to Kitts. Kitts goes right to work against Zeke, and baseline, off glass and good. Chance of a 3-point play.
It's a great spin move by Kitts. Absolutely love her game. A sophomore, but oddly enough, should be a freshman. She left high school early to join this South Carolina team a year ago, was with them for their stretch run. And who wouldn't want to play for that legendary coach, Dawn Staley? And what a great addition for this team. As we said, just a sophomore, big-time contributor, young talent on this squad so far has really showed up.
63% free throw shooter, completes the three-point play. She won a gold medal at the 2022 FIBA U18 Americas Championships. And then in 2023, another gold medal with the FIBA U19 World Cup team. Double-digit lead for the Gamecocks. Bowling Green so far shooting 40% from the field. Here's Paige Kohler, freshman from Homestead Falls.
She's had a great freshman year, but you think if Bowling Green wants to get into this one, it's going to have to be through Fleming.
To the corner, Hill hit from there before. This time she's blocked as Kitts got her fingertips on it. South Carolina, the top shot blocking team in the country. And they turn the block into a quick three at the other end for Raven Johnson, her 11th triple.
Let's talk about the unselfishness and the dynamic offense that South Carolina has. Still perfect over halfway through this first quarter.
8 for 8 from the field.
And they absolutely blitzed Presbyterian the other night to a 21-point lead after one. They look well on their way early in this one. Bowling Green desperately needs an answer on the offensive end and on the defensive end.
Final score in that Presbyterian game was 99-29. South Carolina just missed, hitting the century mark for the 6th time this season. They put up a season high 114 against number 14 ranked Maryland. As far as ranked opponents, the Gamecocks have also seen number 10 Notre Dame, number 24 UNC, and number 11 Utah. One team not ranked, but that gave South Carolina one of the biggest challenges so far was Duke when they played at Cameron Indoor.
And that was a wonderful game, and you really saw in that one Cardosa on full display. I thought she had a great game in that one. And here's where South Carolina really kills you, is they just walk in 3 more superstars off their bench that are ready to go, and they just come at you in waves. And when you're a team like Bowling Green, that's just so difficult because not only are they bringing skill off the bench, they're bringing size.
South Carolina's bench averages 36 points a game. Doubling the post. Got Cardozo on the bench right now. Sakima Walker is out there, and Bowling Green able to force a turnover. Up ahead to Morgan Sharps, the sharpshooter for Bowling Green.
And the transfer from Xavier has been solid off the bench for Bowling Green. A spark plug at times offensively. Has a wonderful 3-point stroke.
Didn't make her first appearance for Bowling Green until Thanksgiving, when the Falcons were down in Savannah and came away with a couple of wins.
And Fleming just cannot find any room to operate.
Deep 3 on the way for Fleming. Back rim. Here comes Fo Wiley. Look inside. Ashlyn Watkins giving it up. Walker, contact. That's going to be 2 for Sakima Walker.
Walker is finding her footing. The Columbus, Ohio product. Columbus Afrocentric. Then was at Rutgers before she bumped to JUCO and has now found her way to South Carolina. You see the great move and the physical play inside by Bowling Green. Walker, what a great contributor off the bench. She just brings 6'4", 6'5" post player behind your 6'7" post player. Coach Dawn Staley has absolutely got to love that.
And Walker was playing JUCO ball at Northwest Florida. She was the JUCO Player of the Year, averaging 16 points, 8 boards a game.
When you're Coach Staley, you don't need to take every player. I think she goes out there and she finds people who fit what she wants to do. Again, that unselfish play, being dynamic offensively and defensively. And you see everyone on the squad, not only offensively as a threat, but defensively, they love to get after it.
And that is something that Robin Freilich also focused on during her time here as the head coach at Bowling Green, and Fred Jamil wants to continue. Robin Freilich now the head coach at Michigan State, as Erica Porter off that pump fake is fouled underneath, and one of the newest Falcons will go to the line. Porter, the transfer from Baylor.
And we like what Porter brings to the table. And then you saw there just late on the helper, Watkins dove down just a tad late, got the foul call on her. And I think, again, if you're Bowling Green, I like what we're getting so far of the play of Porter. She's brought that physical presence inside. You know, you've seen her kind of bounce in and out of the starting lineup. I think if they're going to make any kind of run in this game, it's the size that they're going to need inside and the physicality that she's brought to the table so far.
6 starts this season for Porter. Came off the bench last game, 5 points, 3 rebounds in 11 minutes. On the season, averaging 7.5 points a game.
Sometimes it's just an adjustment in terms of style, getting used to a new coach, figuring out your place on a team, and if coming off the bench works best for Porter and helping this team, that's what you got to do.
And Hall's got another, and that barely touched the net. 5 of 5 from distance is South Carolina.
And it's so difficult to defend when South Carolina is hitting from 3 because of their size inside. It's just pick your poison. You don't have a lot of options if you're Bowling Green. You're trying to pack the lane right now, but in giving up the 3-pointers that South Carolina has been perfect on.
Pound, great pass up ahead to Fulwiley, who will be challenged and still gets all the way to the basket. Fulwiley actually looked for a foul at the end of that. Morgan Sharps at the end, catch and shoot, got it. Morgan Sharps doing what she does best. Sharps last game, 19 points. She had 16 of the 19 in the third quarter and finished the game 5 out of 7 from 3.
It's a great job by Bowling Green, picking their opportunities to get out in transition.
Lexi Fleming sprinting out after that miss. Sharps wanted to let it go. Porter trying to post up. Bowling Green's going to set up the offense. Fleming gets caught there between 2 defenders, trying to rip it through. And a jump ball will keep it with Bowling Green.
And nothing so far has come easy for the star from Bowling Green. Fleming has found absolutely zero room to operate. Kudos to Bree Hall on that help. Was over just in time, stepped in front of the driving Fleming. See here on the replay. Ready to take the charge. Definitely had 2 hands on the basketball. Good call by the officials.
Tessa Johnson just checked in for South Carolina as Fleming creates the separation. Just grazed the front of the iron. Bowling Green's 2 out of 6 beyond the arc.
And Fleming is being forced to shoot from nearly what in high school would be the volleyball line because of the length and athleticism of South Carolina.
Under 3 minutes to play, first quarter. Right back out to Walker. Just above the free throw line, can't connect. Good box out by Hill. Sharps. I'm afraid for that pull-up jumper, but much more on the catch and shoot than off the dribble.
He's a star at Newark High School, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. Made a couple trips to the Final Four.
Underneath, Sharps to Porter for the high percentage look.
You'll love the dish off by Sharps. Offensive spark plug. We talked about it heading into this. When she comes into the game, sometimes Bowling Green is at their best offensively because they just become more dynamic and more difficult to defend, especially on the perimeter. You saw the beneficiary there in Porter.
In the corner, Fulwiley tries a 3, too much on it. Unable to draw iron, and the Bowling Green faithful will let her know about it. Up ahead to Velasco. Bowling Green does not have numbers. Out to Sharps. A catch and shoot, got it again.
What a quick trigger by Sharps on that one. The catch and quick release. And Bowling Green.
Falcons get a foul at the other end, trying to knock that ball away from Walker. Morgan Sharps, by the way, 42% for her career from 3. And that is 3rd all-time at Bowling Green.
It's really impressive. And again, you love what she brings to the table. You see here the dish, kick. It's that quick release for me that is just so impressive. To be a good shooter, but to be able to get your shot off that quickly against a team like this in South Carolina is going to be absolutely necessary because of the length that they bring to the table.
Last season was cut short for Sharps because of an ACL injury. Ended up playing in 17 games. We near a minute. South Carolina trying to keep this double-digit lead. Shot rims out for Fulwiley.
South Carolina settling for jump shots here. Kitts on the bench.
Fulwiley bothering Velasco out high. Velasco keeping her dribbled. And can't make the connection with Fleming. Bowling Green's 2nd turnover.
You hate to see it because South Carolina with 5 misses in a row now. Coach Staley, little irked, a little frustrated so far. Her team got off to a great start, but has struggled in the second half of this quarter with Kitts and Cardoso on the bench. Haven't been able to find that inside presence that they had early in this game.
5'11" senior Jasmine Clerkley just into the ball game for Bowling Green. Tessa Johnson picks up a loose ball. The pull-up rims off. And we're going back to Bowling Green with 33 seconds left. So you're still going to have a chance here, South Carolina, for the final shot. See how quickly Bowling Green goes.
I think if you're Bowling Green, you take a good shot because you know you're going to have to defend. Really hard to run offense for 30 straight seconds against this suffocating defense of South Carolina.
Fleming left open, a little bit strong, rebounded by Raven Johnson.
Fleming's first clean look of the evening.
Raven Johnson working around Watkins, pulls up, came up short, and time expires here in the first. South Carolina puts up 28 points in the first 10 minutes. Bowling Green not going away. Falcons down 10 for the second quarter. Threes were going down early for Bree Hall. Gamecocks are 5 out of 7 beyond the arc. Bowling Green though can hit from distance as well. Morgan Sharps has found a couple from long range. 28-18 your score after one.
Pumping playoff action of your dreams? Check, please.
In that first quarter, having to work for everything, Brandon, but the ball movement has been effective.
It has, and really the latter half of that first quarter, BG really started to find something offensively with Sharps.
Sharps had a pretty good look there. Offensive rebound for Clerkley.
That is really impressive to get that offensive board between the size of South Carolina.
Lexi Fleming tripped up trying to split the defense. And a foul went against Tessa Johnson.
Love what Fleming did there, trying to split the defense and attack the lane. She's just had so little room to operate tonight, and you're playing the #1 team in the country for a reason, and defensively they have just read the scouting report, and they know that if this Bowling Green team is going to pull the upset, it's going to be through Fleming, and they have thrown different defenders at her. You see now Johnson. You had Bree Hall do a great job in that first quarter. She's just had no room to breathe.
Velasco no good. Cardozo's got it. South Carolina started the game 8 of 8 from the field. Right now, 64% for the game. Cardozo had it knocked away as Clerkley held her ground. The help came over.
South Carolina just hasn't found the flow offensively that they had early in this one. You like the lineup though with Kitts and Cardoso. That high-low look that they were able to get early and often is just very difficult to defend.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Velasco, it's flat. Cardozo in front of her. Does get a shot up, and it looked like Cardozo got a piece of it.
Love Cardoso running the floor there.
Alpau sees a little space, rims out on that three. And we get a South Carolina foul. And that foul goes against Chloe Kitts. Sophie Zeekins going to return for Bowling Green, and Bree Hall for South Carolina.
I like what Clerkley did there on the glass and a little bit of a spark plug inside. Very undersized, especially in this matchup, but the effort was there, caused some issues for those South Carolina bigs.
Clerkley has been earning her minutes when she's been out there. Had a career-high 9 points and 10 boards in Bowling Green's win over Duquesne.
I think she understands her role, and that's super important when you come off the bench.
Morgan Sharps didn't miss it by much. Cross-court pass to Hall. Hall drives immediately. Left hand good. See how explosive she was off that first dribble.
She's just so silky smooth. From three, the shot is just pure, and then when she attacks the rim, she can finish with both hands. A wonderful athlete, great defender, really dynamic player for this South Carolina team.
Hall, one of two players to start every game so far. Her cousin Trey Williams plays basketball at Duquesne. Her cousin Nate Johnson plays at Akron. That one would not go down. Tipped out by Hill. 2-on-3 the other way. Cardozo. Alcohol. We got a 3-second call. H. Kohler's going to return for Bowling Green.
I think everyone in the Stroh Center was begging for that 3-second call. Just a couple of seconds early, but Cardoso got deep in the lane on that one. Just couldn't find her footing. Solid defense by Bowling Green. They've done a good job, really, since that first onslaught in the first quarter of handling the bigs of South Carolina, which I think if we had said that coming into this one, we'd be a bit surprised.
Taya Ellis, just into the ball game, 6'1" freshman from Toronto. Very good athlete for Bowling Green, runs the floor well. Looking for her overall offensive skill to continue to develop as she continues on with Bowling Green.
We like what she does on the glass, and I think right now that's what Bowling Green needs inside.
Fleming gets the look. Lexi Fleming scoreless in this one. Every time she catches it, she's got one or two defenders running out at her, if not already a hand in her face.
And you think at some point the first is going to fall, and then Lexi Fleming will really get herself going.
Cardozo had great position, and she gets that deep, there's no stopping her.
She got the body there of Zeiken.
Cardozo,
Wonderful finish.
twice this season, has gone for 20, and a season high 23 against South Dakota State.
She's not the kind of player who's going to drop 40 on you, but man, she makes the 20 count.
Raven Johnson to steal and score. Well, Raven Johnson suffered a season-ending knee injury in her freshman season, playing in just 2 games. Comes back to play in all but one last season, and had the best assist-to-turnover ratio by a South Carolina freshman.
Super efficient, very unselfish. Plays with a high motor as well. You gotta love that as a coach.
Morgan Sharps gets her first points inside the arc. Give her 8 for the ball game. 16-point game, almost midway through the second. Pow wide open in the corner. Her second 3.
BG went back to a zone look on that possession. And they were in that 1-3-1 look early in the game, and they were giving up corner threes and those high point threes. And you see again, South Carolina read the defense well. Used to seeing some zone defenses throughout the year.
South Carolina forced a turnover, and Lexi Fleming not giving up on the play, knocks it away at the end.
It's a great defensive effort, and you love the leadership you see out of Lexi Fleming. Has struggled offensively in this one early, but you see there, she's still going 110% at all times. High motor player, working hard to get back defensively. Great job to not only get the block, but to do it without fouling against the more bigger physical pop-out.
Kitts against Hill. Fading away. Beautiful touch. Under control. She's had 11 points in each of the last 2 games. She's got 11 in this one after that last bucket.
And that was about as old school a move as you'll see there. The nice little touch. Fade away one-hander.
Sharps finds 2 more around the paint.
Sharps, not just a danger from 3, has dished and has drove so far in this one for Bowling Green.
Speaking of dangers from 3, that's Bree Hall. She's got 14.
Have to be aware of Hall at this point. Has been perfect from 3 in this one.
Now the takeaway. All the way for the bucket off the steal. Sanaya Fagan, 6'3" junior from Ellenwood, Georgia.
Fagan did a great job of getting into the body of the defender.
And Bowling Green can catch their breath, call timeout with 4:08 remaining in the second quarter. 46-22 your score.
Live sport.
This is going to be a test for everything offensively here tonight. The Falcons shooting 35% from the field, but you're starting to see South Carolina turn defense into quick offense. It's a Bowling Green team that is second in the Mid-American Conference and scoring just under 70 points a game. And the Falcons know how to shoot it from the field at 44%, also second in the conference. Dangerous from distance, 38%.
And you think about what Bowling Green has done so far in this one, and they've been highly competitive. That's been without Lexi Fleming on the scoreboard. She hasn't been able to contribute, hasn't been able to find a lot of room to operate, and that's of no fault of her own. But again, been held in check for the most part against this very talented South Carolina defense.
You've got shooter on shooter guarding one another right now with Hall and Sharps. As Velasco being guarded by Kitts. Got to get a shot up, time winding down, and bangs! We're going to get around Sanaya Fagan. Jimmy Velasco beats the horn.
Velasco out of Centerville, Ohio, has been a contributor every year on campus. You've seen her role continue to expand as her time has gone on here at Bowling Green.
Congratulations to Amy Velasco. Went out over the Thanksgiving break and she got engaged. Congratulations to Amy. Paige Kohler will hand it off to Velasco. Velasco being chased by Raven Johnson.
I like the move to check Porter back in. She did a nice job in that first quarter. Was a physical presence inside.
Kohler lobs inside and Porter wasn't looking for it. Lexi Fleming's going to return for Bowling Green. And Mylasia Full-Wiley back for South Carolina. Full-Wiley, one of the hometown products there in Columbia, South Carolina. Won 4 state titles in 6 seasons at W.J. Keenan High School. Had over 3,000 career points.
And you'd think she's the heir apparent of the future at South Carolina. Zia Cook moving on to the pro ranks. You'd think she's the next great point guard at South Carolina. She's had a great start to her career.
Oh, by the way, Zia Cook played her high school ball at Rogers, about 20 minutes from Bowling Green. Now a member of the Los Angeles Sparks, playing for head coach Kurt Miller, who we will hear from at halftime. Lexi Fleming along the baseline, gets her first bucket.
I love how Fleming has just kept herself in this game. Has not found a lot of space. Nice little back cut there. Good finish.
Ball comes up a little bit short. Porter pulls in the board.
Porter in limited minutes has really made her presence be felt.
She's going to be a player that's going to continue to work to try and find her way into this offense. And here, Kitts in for the steal, opening up the lane, and a hard foul on Porter. She was knocked down by Fagan.
And we know what Porter is capable of. The Baylor transfer, just really looking for some consistency. And like we said, she's kind of been in and out of the lineup. You see there, wonderful job. Kitts got a little aggressive, drove the lane. That looked like a very clean block. Maybe got her on the body just a tad. But if you're Bowling Green right now, an opportunity to cut into that 20-point lead of South Carolina. Well, it hasn't gone quite according to plan. I think you've got to be relatively happy with your leading scorer getting her first bucket with nearly 2 minutes left in the first half of this game. You've been very competitive. You handled the onslaught to start. We'll see what we can do here for the rest of the second quarter.
Erica Porter had quite the debut for Bowling Green when she had 20 points, 16 in the second half. One of 2 games in which she has had 20 points. Outside of that, single digits in every other game. That's adding to your point about consistency for Porter. As we get a 30-second timeout taken by Dawn Staley in South Carolina. Well, coming up at halftime, we will hear from former Bowling Green head coach Kurt Miller. We'll also talk with current Bowling Green head football coach Scott Leffler to talk about the upcoming bowl game, as Bowling Green football will be playing the Quick Lane Bowl up at Ford Field against a familiar opponent in Minnesota in that MAC Big Ten matchup. Last time Bowling Green and Minnesota met, Bowling Green won in Minnesota. Speaking of the career of Kurt Miller as the head coach at Bowling Green, 2001-2012, 737 win percentage, and familiarity, especially in 2007 with the NCAA tournament when Bowling Green got to the Sweet 16, a special season when Bowling Green was still playing in the house of their lords, Anderson Arena.
And he holds a special place in the heart of, I think, every Bowling Green fan because of the success that they had while he was here, and it's great to see him continue that success, not only at other Division I colleges, but then moving on to the pro ranks as well. True spokesman for Bowling Green.
Kurt Miller has been the head coach in the WNBA for the Connecticut Sun and now the Los Angeles Sparks.
I think you've just got to be very careful if you're Bowling Green. Cannot allow yourself to get buried in the post, as you saw there with Porter. It's just too easy for South Carolina to go up and finish over the top, and you see there a nice pivot move by Watkins, able to finish over the top of Porter, putting her on the bench for foul.
2022 South Carolina State Gatorade Player of the Year. She's come off the bench in every game, averaging 17 minutes a game. Draining the three, Morgan Sharps, her third. She's got a baker's dozen in this first half.
Definitely one of the highlights for Bowling Green has been the offensive play of Sharps.
Brandon, going back to that last three there, she had missed her last few after coming in hot off the bench. Just getting those few buckets in and around the paint, I think, helped her from long range there.
But beyond that, shooters, and especially shooters of the caliber of Sharps, are always going to feel like the next one's going in, and that's what makes them elite. You look at her, such a high percentage shooter. She knows how she can operate on the three-point line. Like we said, with a quick release against a team like this, you're going to have your opportunities because they've tried to really play aggressively. You're going to get some slips, you're going to get some rolls, you're going to have some chances for the three.
Morgan Sharps, because of what she did last time out against Wright State, was just named the Mid-American Conference Player of the Week. She was 1 point shy of Bowling Green's record for points in a quarter when she had 16 in the third against Wright State down at the Nutter Center.
That's a great sign if you're Bowling Green. You know, you look at them, and I think long-term, big picture, do you want to make some noise in the MAC moving forward? I think if they're going to do that, they've got to continue to develop some depth. And I think Porter being that kind of in and out of the starting lineup, you know that she's kind of becoming a little bit more consistent in that she does. It's a big piece for this Bowling Green team. And then Sharps is the other major one for me. If you have a dynamic card that you can bring off the bench, dispel some breaks for Fleming, and not just have your offense go completely into the gutter, I think that that's going to be big for this Bowling Green team that, you know, has played well and looks to make some noise. You've got Ball State and Toledo, probably your top two teams right now, at least in the MAC. But Bowling Green is absolutely sitting right there, right behind those two teams. And you feel like night in or night out, they can absolutely do some damage.
Where the offensive foul was called against Fagan. The officials going over the monitor, take another look at it. And Cardozo is going to check in.
When he took a look at that play at full speed, it doesn't seem like there was really any intent with the elbow. And I think that's what the officials were checking there to make sure it was a clean play. Just a pivot move. Face got in the way of the elbow, unfortunately, and we're back to playing as we should be.
Set up the screen for Hill. Fleming right wing. You get it right back from Zekin.
Hall back on Fleming, and that's been tough for Fleming. And that has been her matchup. No much longer. Hall just has almost enveloped her, the 6-foot-tall guard versus the 5'5" Fleming. It's been a tough go tonight.
And then at times you'll see Raven Johnson also on Fleming, and Raven Johnson similar in her style of play to Fleming as far as how she wants to get up right in the jersey, be up in your face, and try and poke the ball free to get some steals.
And those are two players that are offensively very dynamic, but they take a lot of pride in what they do on the defensive end, and I think that's really important.
Lexi Fleming, one of the players that Bowling Green wants at the line. You see 3 Falcons in the top 10 in the Mid-American Conference in free throw percentage. Fleming at 84%.
That's one of those keys when you're trying to make a run come February and March. Can you make your free throws? Do you take care of the basketball? Bowling Green has shown so far that they are great from the free throw line.
Cardozo was trying to post up. They go over to Pow Pow. She finds Cardozo. Nice look across the paint. Watkins couldn't get it to go. And Watkins tied up Zekin, ripped it away. And first we got a jump ball. It will be Bowling Green basketball.
Well, on that, Watkins wasn't able to finish, but what a pass by Cardozo. And you see, she's such a threat offensively because if she's on the block, you got 6'7" Barney, and then you see here that quick touch pass to Watkins. Just couldn't finish through the contact, but very unselfish. You see one of those pillars of the South Carolina team. Everybody getting involved on the offensive end of the floor.
Fleming off the high screen. Got it to Kohler, who's in trouble there. Doubled immediately. Out to Sharps. Sharps against Hall, floats it up. Off the mark, rebounded by Cardozo. And South Carolina can hold for the final shot.
Cardozo did just enough to change that shot for Sharps. They're going to elevate, get to the right to get around the outstretched hand of Cardozo. You think 6'7", outstretched hand, probably reaching about 7 feet tall.
Pow Pow drains the 3 straight away. 9 points in the first half to go along with 5 assists and a couple of boards. Kohler will heave from midcourt. 52-31 your score after 20 minutes of play here.